Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Afternoon. It's been a while. It's been quite a while since I've been out, I think. Oops, sorry. And I wanted to come out today. This is Janice Parks, J. Parks, empowerment speaker, just to talk a little bit about wholeness. I hope you all are having a great Friday. And in some storms, and a lot of power is out across the nation. So I'm hoping that you all have power. And if you don't, I hope that your power is going to be restored really, really soon, because we didn't have power last night for about 5 hours. So grace and peace unto you. And I'm coming out today to talk about wholeness. And I hope you can pass this along and share it with your network. I think we don't talk enough about wholeness. I am very glad to be able to come out today. A lot of you may be at home today because I know in this area, a lot of the schools are shut down because of the inclement weather that went on less than 24 hours ago, and that is still kind of going on right now. So again, come on out, come on out. I'm going to be talking about wholeness. And I want to address that to not just more mature women, but I'm going to talking to millennials as well, those young women who are getting started with their careers and their families and their marriages. And even if you're not, if you're just embarking upon a career, you're single, you're in college, whatever the case may be, everybody needs to have a really good understanding of what wholeness is. So, hey, this is Jay Parks, Janice Parks. I'm talking about wholeness today. Hope you can join me, share it. If you can't watch all the way through, come back later on and watch it. And I just wanted to hope that you're having a real peaceful day. So I'm gonna get right into it. I put a post out, and it talked about having good health, having peace, having balance, having wisdom and common sense. So I'll be talking a little bit about that. And I'm coming from a perspective of what I've experienced in my life, and I'm sure a lot of you can also add to that. So put yourself in the right smack and dab in the middle of what we're talking about today, and we're talking about wholeness. And I won't be out here very long. Hey, Coach, how are you? Coach Carter, how are you? Hey, you owe me a telephone call. We need to get together online. So please pass this along to your clients. Feel free. And I'm going to be talking about wholeness today. It's going to be a little bit involved. So if you can't stay with me the whole time, that's okay. You can always come back and watch again. So wholeness. What is wholeness? And of course, what I like to do, I like to go out and okay, I like to always give a definition. And what I have written down, I jotted down: the state of being complete and harmonious, unified with oneself, mind. That's a big deal. That's a really, really, really big deal. And I want to talk a little bit about myself for a few minutes as far as what that is concerned. That particular sentence, the state of being complete and harmonious, unified with oneself, mind, body, and spirit. I didn't always understand that. Needless to say, I wasn't there, because I'm sure a lot of you can relate to not being unified with oneself. We go through different stages in life. We have different seasons. As we grow older, we're children, we're adolescents, we're young adults. We start to mature around 30 or so. And some of us are fortunate enough to have people around us that will give us nuggets of wisdom. use those nuggets of wisdom right away, but they're somewhere back in our memory. So yeah, so what I have is the state of being complete, harmonious, unified with oneself, mind, body, and spirit, wholeness. So when I put the post out earlier, the first thing I put out there was good health. If you're just coming on board, I'm talking about wholeness. And good health, number one, you can't have anything else if you don't have good health. Now, it takes some of us a while to understand that. Okay? It really takes some of us a while to understand, because we think we could just eat anything. And when you're younger, you really, your metabolism is a lot quicker, right? You can eat the cheeseburgers and the Philly steaks and the French shakes and anything else you want. And you really pretty much don't have to worry about it. But when you start to get about 25, 30-ish, I was very active in my early years, athletic, played tennis, that type of thing. But I worked a job in my 20s where it was very involved. I worked medicine, feed a lot, long hours, carried a beeper, call back, that type of thing. Got married, had a family, and excuse me. And so, you start to get a little bit settled. But my husband was and is his major is in physical education. So when we met, he was very active. He played tennis, he played in tournaments, he played basketball, that type of thing. So, I kind of got back into that, before I had my baby. And I didn't have my baby until I was 30 years old. So anyway, but now in my later years, I understand the importance about being active again. You got to move these muscles. You got to move these, you got to move this body, keep the body moving some kind of, you don't have to be a marathon runner. You don't have to be somebody that goes to the gym absolutely every day, but you got to make that time that you do exercise count something. For me, I like aerobics. I like water aerobics because it's easy on my joints, and I'm 65 years old and I want to take care of my body to the point that I don't want to strain myself. A good warm up is always good. I don't care who you are, how old you are. And then I walk, which is very good. So that's a big deal. So good health is number one. Number two, peace. Can we just talk about having peace? Put something down for that as well. When your mind is stable enough, let me repeat that. When your mind is stable enough to realize that you are in a space of constant equalization or equilibrium, about your ability to say no when you have to, and yes to yourself even more. Okay? Let me repeat that. So peace, what is it? Is when your mind is stable enough to realize that you are in a space of constant equilibrium about your ability to say no when you have to, and to say yes to yourself even the more often. So let's talk about peace. Now, we talked about good health. Well, you can't have peace unless you have good health, right? Because if you're constantly concerned about, oh my God, what's this? What's this ache? What's this pain? Oh, what is this level? You got to have peace. In order to have peace, you got to have. And the other thing about peace is this, and I read my definition. You have to be stable enough in your thinking, okay? Constant equilibrium. You need to do to get that. And your ability to say no. That means, if you plan on doing something special for yourself, let's say go get a massage or go get your hair done, go get your eyebrows done, go get your nails done, your feet done, and you have children, they have children, and they call you last minute and say, look, mom, I need you too. Well, it's last minute, right? It's last minute. And you got to have an understanding with those other individuals that are in your life, whether it be your children, your friends, your business partners. They got to know you, right? So I always make it a point, and I've made a point over the years with my grandchildren and their parents to help them understand, now you need to get organized. You need to have an organized way of doing things so that you always have a plan B and a plan C when it comes to what you need for a sitter or someone that can keep the children, and if they're okay. And a lot of people can't do this, but this is what preparation is about. You need to stay home with your children. Nobody can take care of your children like you can. So before you start having children, if at all possible, and I know sometimes that doesn't work, but I'm just saying, you need to have preparation. You need to have a good daycare. You need to make sure that they have good nurses on board, that they're certified, and all that stuff. Do all your research, okay? Now, for me, I worked 35 years in a medical career. I stood on my feet a lot. Some of my career was in clinical research where I sat a lot. I've done various different things. And at this stage of my life, if I don't want to do a thing, I don't do it. Can I just be honest? I just don't do it. And everybody that knows me understands that, or at least they should. And so I love my grandchildren. I have 5 of them. However, I plan out what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, and how I'm going to do it. Because my time is my time. I'm talking about peace. Whatever gives you peace in your circle, in your space, in your life every day, listen, take control over that. And don't allow anybody else to infringe upon that, because that's going to make for a bad relationship with that person. Trust me, y'all are not going, it's not going to be pleasant. Now, when you think of them, it's, you want to keep a loving, nurturing relationship. So if everybody knows, I know things, disclaimer, I know things come up, but when something like that happens because you haven't pre-planned, then that's a problem. Then you have to take care of it yourself. Anyway, so peace, to have peace of mind, okay? Good health gives you peace of mind. Having the ability to say yes and no to things that you don't feel comfortable doing within your space, and yes to yourself, within reason, of course, that's going to help build you up. All right, let's go to number 3, balance. Let's talk about balance. So, what is balance? Balance is a steady understanding of who you are, being unapologetic. So, being balanced. So, therefore, how can I say this? Balance. I have certain days that I do certain things, and sometimes but I like for those things to be done according to my schedule. Let's say laundry. Let's just say laundry. I don't like to keep over a load of laundry in my laundry room. In my laundry room. When it gets to be a full load, I'm talking about a full load, I like to wash and dry and fold and put them away. That's my routine. Okay? And so, and everybody in my household, which is the grand number of 2, which would be my husband and myself. He knows that. That's the way we like things. That's the way we like things. I like my house to be a certain way. Now today, I'm just kind of chilling a little bit, doing some things online, closing out, paying some bills. So I'm not really stressed about too many things. We had a little storm. We didn't have power for a while, but I never allow my home to get to the point where I'm overwhelmed. I don't like that feeling, right? So that's what I mean by balance. You don't ever want to get to a place where you're overwhelmed. Now, I know that there are all kinds of situations out there. I understand that. And I've been there and done it. Trust me. This has not been something that happened to me overnight. Please understand. But I'm trying to help you not to be, get to the place where you're overwhelmed. It's not a good place. So if you plan yourself out a little bit, divide yourself out with things. Don't overdo yourself. If you work 2 jobs and you're single, well, you can sleep when you want to, get up when you get ready, but still organized with it, because you never know. If you desire to be married, you want to be an organized, put together, balanced, peaceful, wise, with common sense type individual, because that's what you're seeking. You should be. So, and let's say you have children. If you've got small children, let's say you got a teenager that's maybe 14, 15, one that's maybe 10, and one that's 8. Those children are big enough that you have nurtured them along for them to help you with housework and knowing how to cook a dinner. Okay? That you should not have to come home if you're working 2 jobs, and I hope that you're not, but a lot of people do. And that has to have some organization in and of itself. You should not have to come home after working 2 jobs and have to pick up clothes, wash clothes, and fold clothes and put them away. All 3 of those children should have responsibilities, so that you, mom, if you're a single mom, that you don't have to be overwhelmed. And if you're not a single mother and you're family, there ought to be some type of balance and peace in the household, that everybody has a job, everybody has a responsibility, so that nobody gets overwhelmed. Because a family that's overwhelmed does not have peace, and they don't have good health. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. So let's go to number 4. That was number 3. Number 4 is wisdom. Number 1 was good health. Number 2 is peace. Number 3 was balance. Okay, wisdom. Big one. Now, if you're not in good health and you don't have peace, you're not balanced, the wisdom cannot come, because you're fighting against all of those other things. And you're not going to be in wisdom. Now, this is what wisdom is: those things that you've learned not to do, that not only harm those first 3 points that I just made, harm and jeopardize those first 3 points. So in other words, wisdom is those things that you've learned not to do, that not only harm and jeopardize those first 3 points that we just talked about. So what is wisdom? Wisdom is, you need a balance. You need to be able to balance your checkbook, however you do your app, your Cash App, your Venmo, whatever the case may be. You need to be able to have a savings for a rainy day, for a car. If your car breaks down, you need to be able to have some money in the bank. You should have at least a couple $1,000 in the bank in case something goes wrong with your car. You got a new car, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, and then you need to keep your tires up. I know. It's easier said than done. But I'm talking about those things that you need to work toward, okay? Even if it's not there now, right? And then you need to be able to know how to shop to the point that you're not going over your budget. There needs to be a budget, and everybody needs to be on a budget in the household. Mom, dad, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, whoever's in the household, everybody need to be on a budget. You just can't go spending willy-nilly. How do I know? I've done that. I'm not talking about anything that I have not experienced, trust me. So we're talking about wisdom. We're talking about wisdom. And I'm not saying you can't have things, nice things. I love nice things. You know, I don't even use. I'm just being honest. I don't ever need to go shopping for any more shoes. I got enough shoes in my closet that will never go out of style. Now clothes, because I fluctuate a little bit with my weight, but I'll make it work. Okay, we know how to make it work, ladies. And you shop winter clothes in the spring clothes in the winter. Can I just help you out a little bit? And you go to the outlets. You can have nice things. You can have nice jewelry, nice dresses, skirts, boots, all that kind of stuff. And online is, hey, now, y'all already know that online is where it's at. QVC, Amazon, HSN, And have a vacation. You should be able to take a vacation every year or every other year. There's all kinds of ways to doing that, and you need to do your research. Okay, so right? And here's another little nugget. Now, a lot of you single mothers, the thing about that, and I've kind of been a single mother when my husband and I, when he was retiring, we lived in Ohio, and my son and I came to the Carolinas, and I had to be a single mom for a little while. You really, really, really have to be focused. You have to be focused, and everybody has to be on the same page. You need to sit down and have a family meeting and plot out what is going to be done. Everybody needs to have a journal so they can refer back to that journal from the last meeting and go forward. Okay? And you need to have meetings whenever you need to have meetings. You can have scheduled meetings, but sometimes there's emergencies. You need to have meetings. And you should never be too busy where you can't listen to your children. Yeah. And your spouse. Very important. I heard something, I know you all have heard of Run DMC, him and his wife, Reverend Run, and his wife, and I heard her name is I can't remember her name right now. I love her. She's beautiful. They've been married a long time. Very, very powerful. And I think I put it out online as well. Learn to listen to the whispers before you have to hear the screams. That can be related to any situation, whether it's husband, children, friends, business partners. Learn to listen and listen before you have to hear the screams. So in other words, if I'm telling you in a very low-key type of way, look, sis, look, honey, don't do that because such and such and such. And I tell you more than twice. I'm not going to tell you more than twice. If you're my child, I'm old school. I'm going to give you twice, but that's about it, depending on what the situation is. And we're talking about husband and wife relationship. You really got to be in tune with your spouse because you really don't want to deal with the screams. You'd much rather deal with the whispers. So deal with the whispers. Learn to listen for the whispers before you have to deal with the screams. Okay, let's move on. Number 5, and I'm almost done. Common sense. Common sense. Woo! That's a big one. That is a huge one. So that sense of that's stupid, and no, I'm not doing that. Let me repeat that. So common sense is when you have a sense of that's stupid, whatever it is you're about to do, whatever it is you're about to do, it's stupid. You already know it's stupid, okay? And no, I'm not doing that, okay? So anything stupid and you know it's stupid, don't do it. That's common sense. That's using common sense, right? Right? So I've been talking about wholeness. I can't believe I'm done. Can you? Wholeness, wholeness. What does wholeness mean to you? The goal should have never been perfection, but wholeness should be what we seek. I want you to have a wholesome day, a wholesome weekend. I hope that you've enjoyed what I've talked about today. Go out to my VCTA site. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Like and share this video on Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to put it out on Instagram as well under my J Parks Consulting Coach Business Solutions page on Instagram. But yeah, share this, and reach out to me. Tell your network. Maybe we could have a group that will come together on a watch party and just have some really, 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 really upfront and for real conversations about some topics that nobody really wants to talk about. That's what I do. Okay. And listen, if you need help, if you have anything that you're anxious about, that you're trying to deal with by yourself, don't do that. Reach out and get you some help. Get you some professional help. Get you some clinical help, And if it's somebody that's causing you to have the anxiety, then that's the first clue that you need to let that person go. Or you need to make it known to that person, listen, we need a break, a big break. And this is why, And if you're in a dangerous situation, then you really need some help. Okay? I'm not a clinician in that area, but however, I've experienced domestic violence in my life. So I know what that's all about. Years and years and years ago as a young woman, before I ever got married. And I didn't marry that person, by the way. Unfortunately, that person is no longer in the land of the living. But however, I can speak on it. Get you some help. And be wise and have common sense about it. Listen, this is J Parks, Janice L. Parks, J Parks Consultant Business Solutions Empowerment Speaker. Have an awesome, awesome whole weekend and Friday. Until the next time, y'all be blessed.